Welcome, my lovelies. Welcome back to this next video. I'm not actually sure when I put all the clips together again for the second time how this video is going to come together. But just to explain really quickly, I spent just less than 2 hours yesterday putting all the clips of this video together, editing, putting up words here and there, stitching the whole video together and then uploading it onto YouTube. I think it took about 2 hours or just over 2 hours to do it. And then not long after it was on, one of our family members commented to say that they had missed my goodbyes at the end of the video, and it just sort of ended on a certain part of the video, and that just made me frown because I thought that's not right. And I looked at the video, and it was only 28 minutes long, and it was about half the video. And even though the clip was one whole clip on the editing program, when I uploaded the video to YouTube, YouTube decided just to upload half of it and then forget about the other half. Who knows why? I'd say who cares about that, but oh dear, I was quite downhearted after the hours I spent sitting with it all. So this is now, I'm putting this in, I'm filming this bit as a new section of the beginning of this video. I will now, it might look a bit odd, but I will now try and put bits back together again, and redo the whole thing. So it's at least another 2 hours work just for you to see this one video. So please, somebody comment and say it was worth my while, that they enjoyed watching, or you enjoyed watching. So upsetting. Anyway, what I did want to do was, I'll move the camera to the side and then show you on the desk here. There was one, when I was editing, there was one part of the video that I was explaining something, and when I looked at it, I was waffling on. I could say it in a third of the time. So I will do this bit here on the workbench and show you. If it's possible, I may put that clip in where it would have been in the video, or I may put it in the next clip. We'll see. Anyway, but here we go. Wish me luck, folks. Okay, so let's get to the main part of this video. And the video is part one. I don't know how many parts it will take. Not many, because it's not a huge build. But this is part one of a new commission that I've been given. Yay! I've got another commission. And thank you so much, my lovely client, for giving me this commission to do. I'll hold this up for you. As I said, I did do filming and showing the box and me taking all the bits out the box. We'll just have to pretend that's happened, but I'll just hold up the picture of it here. It's the Jenny Wren's kit, the Dollhouse Emporium build, and I'll show you, which is the kit that JB used for his charity shop, with the 2 floors of his charity shop. Now my client, who has been watching me and JB from the start, one of our family members, like all of you are. She at one point really enjoyed the Christmas house that I did. If any of you have seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But where the lady that owned that really just wanted something to store all her Christmas items, so she thought she'd have a Christmas house designed and decorated so she can put everything in the house, so it's not stored in boxes and just brings them out once a year. So she has everything out on show in one house, so she can open that up and look, and then she can take things out come Christmas time to go into other houses as well. So my client loved that idea, but then she was thinking about it, she needs something to store all her Christmas items in as well, without storing them away, which I completely understand. and she was looking for a build to do that in, and then when she saw JB doing his charity shop, she thought, that's the kit, that's the build that I need. Just 2 nice size rooms to put all the items in. So the ground floor is going to be another version of Santa's house. It's just somewhere he stops over. I suppose he's got houses, really. It's not just the North Pole. He can't do all that around the world in one night. I don't believe that. I do believe Santa is there, but I don't believe he does that. He's not that clever. Don't care what you say. So he must have houses all around the world that he just appears in through Christmas. I mean, you know, he's probably got a house in Malibu. Who knows? They have Christmas in Malibu as well, I'm sure. I don't know where Malibu came from, but there you go. Maybe I'm in need of a drink. Cheers. So I don't know where this is going. Let's get back on track. So she said that she'd like this house, so she got the house. I now have it. It's in my possession, and we'll go on to showing you what I've already done with it. What I will do is say from the beginning what I would do with any kit is take all the bits out of the box, check them off on the checklist to make sure that all the pieces are there for a start. If they're not, get in touch with the company immediately and tell them. But all the pieces are there, and then, as in all these instructions, it does advise you to do a dry build first of all. Depending on how the build is made and how big it is, you may, if you do that, just slot the bits together, starting from the base and the back wall and the side walls, and just start from there. But on some houses you may need to use masking tape just to put round corners quickly, just to stop everything falling apart. On this house, when I did it, so everyone knows, if anyone that does buy this kit, it just all clipped together without any tape holding it at all. It's really quite nice and solid, and it's fairly small, so it doesn't there's not too much weight for it to fall apart. So yes, so do that first of all. Then I took everything apart again, and then what I did was to cover practically all the surfaces, inside and outside, with a white primer. So I've just primed all the pieces of wood with white. So instead of, they were MDF colour, but I've just done them with a white. It doesn't have to be a solid white colour, it just has to be at least one layer, because all of this is going to be covered again anyway. But it just acts as a primer, because the MDF is things do soak into it. Oh, I can't think of the word. Oh my goodness me, you're all shouting it at me. It's porous. Thank you. MDF is porous. Naughty MDF. This had stairs in it. She doesn't want stairs, so I don't know if you can see there, but this had a gap cut out there where the wall came here and the stairs came up through this gap onto the next floor up, and all I did was to measure that exactly, cut out a piece of MDF the same thickness, and then just inside there, they're never at right angles, they're always curved. So I just sanded a couple of strokes on the sandpaper just to curve the corners, and then that just slots in perfectly, and it's completely smooth. And then I just painted it white, as I said, and then it's had 2 coats of the ceiling paint as well. So that's now ready to put into the build. The outside walls, I used one of the Stone Lux antique stone paints, and the client picked a colour that she liked. So that's the inside with the white primer ready to wallpaper or paint or whatever we're going to do, and then that's the outside colour of the house, and it's got the stone effect there, which is really nice. So it's just sort of mottled effect with the stone, just slightly old looking, really nice colour. and it's going to go well with the roof as well, the slate roof, which is going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to doing that on video. So my next job is really, now we've skipped all that part, is I think I'm going to put the build together and just glue it together. So we'll move the camera and let's see what we're doing there. As I said, I have tried the house already and it has gone together perfectly well. So I'm now just going to glue bits in place, and we're starting with a side wall of the house that I am laying down, and I'm going to put the floor. I haven't put white primer on the floor, either floor, the ground floor or the next floor, because it's going to be fully carpeted, so there's no point in that doesn't have to be sealed. Basically the carpet will just glue on that easily, so you can work out where the grooves are, that's fitting in with the grooves of the kit itself. I'll put that in like that, so, and this is where I showed you our set square kit that we use constantly, and I'm using that right now. This doesn't have to be square this moment, but I am just going to, don't know if you can see it properly on the video, but I'm just going to lean that against it, and that holds it up while I glue the back of the house in place. And again, work out which way round it goes compared to the back. That's fine, so it's going to be these two sides, and we'll put some glue along here, and then we'll put the back of the house in. Okay, now we're going to slot these two sections in. I'll just lean this one back a bit so it slots in, and I can push that into place. There, it just sort of clips in basically. There we are. And then this, as it is, I don't know if you can see properly, but this is now square just by locking this piece in here. So before you put the other side on to the house, you've still got to get a floor in there. So you put the floor in next, obviously making sure that your floor is the right way up. So this is the ceiling, that's the ground floor, so it's going to go like that when we stand it up, and that's the floor of the next level. So that's just going to go in there. So some glue. Okay, so that's going to slot in here, and if I just offer it up carefully, and then what I'm going to do is get the set square again. It doesn't matter which side, but I'm just going to place it in to make sure this floor is square to the side of the building. There we are, and push that up against it. So then we know that's square with the back of the building. I can try it both sides, and I can also, just to hold it for a minute, get the next size set square, next size down, and put one on each side. And we can see that that's straight on both sides, so we know this is square on the wall. Once we know this, and it's pressed against the wall, I then get a bit of masking tape and just hold it on to dry. Bend it down at the sides and then over the back. Do that reasonably tight so that it has a nice hold there. Once that's dry, I maybe won't with this house, but in bigger builds, just to make them extra strong, you can knock little panel pins in the back wall right into the middle of the flooring, and it just holds the house better again. But with smaller builds like this, it's sort of really is sort of overkill. But anyway, that's that. And then I can get the roof bit. That's going to be glued on there like so, and then the opposite side wall will go on there. I'm going to glue this and tape it the same as that, and let those dry first of all, and then I can take the tape off and then just put glue on these bits here and along the back, and glue the other side wall on, and then the weight of that, I'll just put something on it just to hold it down basically. So I shall carry on and glue this bit. Now for this bit, I just wanted to explain how I get the centre of the rooms. If it, just say this was one of the floors of the building or one of the ceilings, how I managed to get the exact centre to drill a hole to put the light in, the ceiling light. And the easiest way to do that, somebody did say about just drawing 2 diagonal lines exactly from corner to corner, and the dot in the middle would be the X. One reason I didn't like that at all was because you're drawing on the ceiling, and then you've got to repaint again, and with a rubber you never get those marks off again. It's just never it just messes up your work basically. And also. When there's walls around these corners, you can't get rulers into a corner because they're flat edged, and also the rulers don't go from one corner to another corner, even in a small room, so that wouldn't work either. But the best way I find every time is just to I'm using an A4 sheet of paper, so on the back, the longest bit here, I'll just write the word back. And down one side, it could be this side or that side, I'll just write side. It doesn't matter. You do it on which side you want to do it on. And then all I do is measure the width of the whole room and halve it from side to side, halve it, and put that measurement down there. I don't know, 15 centimetres, whatever it comes to. And the depth of the room, just measure your room there out to there, and whatever that was, and then halve that. And that could be, I don't know, just say 12 centimetres. It's whatever it is. And then all you do is draw a line there for 15 centimetres. You could do it further down here as well. And 12 centimetres from the back to the front. So 12 centimetres out, blah, blah, blah. And you come with a measurement like so on the paper. And then all I do is get the paper, fold it on those lines, fold it there, and you know still that that's your back wall and the side wall, and then you just offer that up either into the ceiling of the room where you're putting the ceiling light, or the floor above if it's the same. It's the same size anyway, and you know that this opposite corner is the centre of your room, and just draw a little dot right on the edge of the corner on the ceiling. Oh, sorry, I'm holding this up. So that's your back wall, that's your side wall, that is the centre of your room, because that's half the back and half the side. So lay that on the ceiling or on the floor above, and mark that corner there on your ceiling or on the floor, and that's the centre of the whole room. And that template, if your rooms in your house, you know, you've got so many the same size, you just use that template every time. Just put it in each corner of each room, and you've got the centre light. Job done. Just a little tip that may help at least one person. Right, now I just thought I'd show you, that's the hole that I've drilled in the middle dead centre of this room. As you can see, there were 2 holes, like one there then one there, and the routing line cut out for anyone that wanted to put 2 lights in there. In this case, with only putting 1 light in, so these holes have been filled in. So I've drilled my own hole there. I've just used a ruler and drawn a pencil line from the hole to the back, and now I'll do this off camera as well, but I'm just using the Dremel with a small routing tool on the end. And then I'll just switch this on, and then carefully, what I usually do when I'm routing with a tool like this, instead of pushing it because it's easier to go off at an angle, with it switched on, I just don't dig in deep, but I just lightly follow the pencil line back to the hole just a couple of times while it's on, and then turn it up a bit faster, and then you can go forwards or backwards to gouge the hole out, or the gap, or the trench even. So as I say, I'm going to do that off camera, and then that will be the noise over with. Now, Cheers, my lovelies. This is indeed another day. It got a bit too hot yesterday, even with the fan, so we gave up. But anyway, here we are. It's nice and cool this morning. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to install a chimney breast, and it's going to go on the right hand side of the wall to the client's instructions. Now, always remember when you're doing a commission, you're doing what the customer has asked for. It's not your house, so you're not doing it how you would do it. So you want it just right for the customer. So this was on the wish list to put a chimney breast in. We're not adding a chimney on top of the house because you don't have to. And I'm just pointing these things out to remember that it just depends. If you want to design a building and you want it to look as realistic as possible, then that is a certain style or certain method. So then you would add, if there's a chimney breast, you'd add chimneys, chimney pots and whatever. Even in this house, as I'm saying, there's no stairs. So there's no, if it was real, then there's no way of getting up and down stairs. That doesn't matter. You do exactly what you want. You can have a whole huge house with no stairs in it and just all rooms with different things in. It doesn't matter. So keeping that in mind. Otherwise, I know sometimes I get comments where people are really concerned because the person living there can't get upstairs, or they can't light the fire because where's the smoke going to go? Don't worry. It's just a dollhouse. But in saying that, some of the buildings I've done, I have done it as if the people in there need to get here, they need to do that, they need to, so I have done that myself. And as I say, that's all your own taste, your own style. So in this case, we're just going to put a fire on the right hand wall. The lady doesn't want it at the back, in the middle, where a lot of rooms would show. She wants it on the side just because it suits where she's going to place furniture, and she wants the back wall clear for certain things to put there, so they're not getting in the way. This doesn't want to get in the way. And also we have a fire surround in black. She wants that left as it is, no tarnishing or gilding or anything. That's how she wants it. And we're also putting in this back as well, the brick fire back as well. It's really nice in the way it's all been painted. Looks really good. It just looks dirty and sort of used. So we're going to put these together. So this is going to go on the inside of the chimney breast. She also, when you put them together, doesn't want the chimney breast coming out its usual depth into the room as chimney breasts usually do. She just wanted it the depth of the two pieces, basically, so the chimney breast just comes back to there. So I have taken the front of a chimney breast, cut it in half, narrowed it to make it the width that she wants. She wants it just about 3 millimeters or so sticking out each side of the width of the mantle piece there, which is exactly what I've done, measuring it. And she just wants it, usually this is twice the depth, so I've cut one of these pieces in half to make it closer to the wall. So, and also put pieces across here while I was gluing it in place, just so it's nice and sturdy and it's not going to come apart any day soon. So my next job is to glue the back of this into the inside of this. So as I say, you can see now the depth of it. The whole thing will just lie flat against the wall, and it'll be very neat and tidy in there. So I'm just going to get some glue here, just some PVA, and we're going to put it down each side of the fire back. I'll leave that to dry and then show you what I'm going to do next. Right, now let's just move the camera down a bit. There we are. So this is all drying in place, and now what I've done, I've turned the house on its side, but you can do it standing upright, it doesn't matter. It's just easier because the build is small and I can do it at the moment. But I've marked the centre of the room and then half the width of the fireplace out and drawn a line on the wall. And now I'm just putting glue down each side of the MDF bits and no more. And then I'll lower it down where the pencil line is, right there. Okay, so next I'm going to do is the wallpapering. So normally I would wallpaper both sides of the walls first of all and just leave a little overhang at the back wall and then stick the back piece of paper on top of that, covering over the join. And that's just what I'm going to do with this room. There's no difference. It's a lovely strong paper, by the way. It's very subtly Christmas. It's got stag heads, bunnies, squirrels and hedgehogs on it. Very pretty. I don't know if that's, oh, it's in focus, I'm not sure. But it's a lovely greeny, beigey green colour, so it's lovely. So what I do is I've cut the pieces of paper down. They were higher than that when I bought them, when they were bought, but I've cut them to the height. I've just cut them so there's about 1/2 centimetre left at the top there. So when I stick the cornicing on, it will stick to the paper and the wall and the ceiling, and that will hold everything in securely. And then what I've done is, this piece of paper was a bit longer, it was out to about there first of all, and all I did was get one sheet, this is going to be the back wall, and I slid it along until I got an exact match on the paper. And once I had that match, I then measured 1 centimetre past that match and cut a line. Then I turn the paper over, measure 1 centimetre in from there, and then score it down there a couple of times really faintly with the X-Acto knife, so that then I could just fold it and get a lovely crease up there. So it's not, so it's done really neatly basically. So that little fold there will go on the back wall, and then when I match that paper to the back wall, it will come to the matched area of the paper. So the pattern will continue. Just in case you can hear sawing in the background, JB is with us in the workshop today.
Hello everyone.
Hello JB, we're having a nice afternoon in the workshop. So what I'm going to do is stick the left side on first. The right side has got the chimney breast there, so that will all be done a little bit differently from this side, but I'll do the easiest side first. And normally if the house is in situ, you would just paper it and paste it, but in this instance, because it's very small and because I can, I'm going to turn the house on its side like so, and I'm going to PVA. It's a nice thick paper, so it won't stretch or split. So I'm going to put a layer of PVA on the wall first of all. I always do that first of all, and then I'll put a thinner layer of PVA on the back. What I have done is lay the paper in first of all, see how far it comes past the wall, and drawn a line to the front of the building. So I know that the paper comes out to there. So I won't PVA right up to the end here because it's just wasting it, but I'll PVA just past that line before I stick the paper in. And then if it's on its side like so, gravity will just help it to dry. And also when you do this, make sure when you put it in that you have matched it up with the floor area and that you've got your little gap at the top, so that the corner is going to go into the gap at the top. So I'll just paste that up, put it in, let it dry, and then carry on to the next stage. Okay, now just to recap, I had to take a few days off to do other things, other videos. And I can't remember what I said, but just to recap, on all the walls, including the chimney breast, I've used a watered down PVA and a wide brush, or a 2-inch wide brush, and just brushed all the walls with very thin watered down PVA and let that dry completely. So then when you come to glue your paper, it adheres to the walls much easier rather than sliding off, which it could do if you don't PVA them. And also, as you know, I've done a primer coat on there as well. I am going to do a primer coat on the chimney breast as well before I put paper on this wall, but I've just glued this in and it's dry now, but I will paint over this and then re-PVA over the top of that. Now, before I put the back paper on, as I said, the side papers go on first. I've measured the tiny little centimetre gap there on the paper and folded it, and I've measured exactly from there to there, top, middle and bottom, just to make sure it's straight, and it is. Then I've measured the depth of the chimney breast. I just do it a bit at a time, so I've measured from there to the chimney breast, marked that on the paper and creased the paper so it fits into that corner. I've then marked the depth of the chimney breast and marked that on the paper and just worked my way round, marking the paper exactly out to here. And then if I show you on the table, if I can hold this okay. Oops. Okay, so that's where the paper goes into the corner of the room, and it just folds in slightly. If I stand that up, you can just see it there. And then that goes along the back wall. Then it comes out there where the chimney breast is. Then it goes back in again and then along to the rest of the wall. And as I did on the other side, when I lay the paper in there, I just draw a pencil line up there. It's not really to save glue or PVA or anything. It's just really, if you don't have to paste to the very end, then when you're applying the paper, it's much easier on your fingers and less messy to get hold of a dry piece of paper with one hand when you're fitting the other end of it in and smoothing it all down. It's just a cleaner job, really. That's all that's for. And if you haven't got spare paper left over, then you just have to paste the whole thing and glue it on, and just be careful that you don't smudge it on your actual wallpaper. So yes, so that whole piece, luckily we'll go in and do the whole wall, so there'll be no joins, except for the back panel, which I have matched up with the pattern. So it's much neater when it's done. If I just show you, if I come over here and show you, with rooms normally being wider than they are deep, when you've got the chimney breast on the back there, sometimes in some of the big rooms, probably not this one, it's fairly narrow, but on some of the wider rooms, your wallpaper doesn't actually go around the chimney breast and along both back walls and all in one piece. So instead of any joins showing anywhere, what I would do is paper again from this side, measure it along to the chimney breast, out, along and down until I get to the other side of that wall. And if there's not enough paper to carry on and cover the wall from there to there, then I just cut it right in the corner of the chimney breast. So on this, if this was on the back wall, then it would be cut to go right down there, and then I'd cut a fresh piece of paper there out to the end of the wall. So it'd be from there to the end of the wall, and that would be the back panel going on. But again, it'd be tidy and you wouldn't see joins of anything. So I shall paint the chimney breast, let that dry, water down PVA over it, let that dry, and then we'll put the glue onto the paper and then offer it up to the wall, starting from that corner. I won't film it because it's on the edge of the bench here and I haven't got anything. I'm holding the camera, I haven't got anything to place it on, but I would apply it to that corner, use the card to smooth it out, crease it into the chimney breast there, bring it out, make sure this is smooth, and then fold it right into that corner to that smooth, and then out to the edge here. I'm obviously going to paste over it, the same as any doors, windows. Never cut the paper out first. It never lies as neat as you can get it if you just cover everything, let it dry. Once it's dry and solid, then you can use a scalpel and cut all the holes out very, very easily, and it's stuck right to the edge and it leaves a very nice, neat finish. Okay, so I've put the back piece on last, as I explained earlier. Excuse me. So just to reiterate again, just quickly, for me, decorating a room from beginning to end, just the stages that I do it in, I do want to point out that this isn't the way everyone does their rooms. Some people do the floor first, some people do the walls first. Everyone does it differently, but just to explain the reason why I do what I do, I take into account gravity. That's the main reason that I start with the top. So I'll paint the ceilings and the walls with a primer, a white primer first of all, and let that dry. And then if you're going to paint the ceiling a colour, paint it. Do the whole for the ceiling. So any paint that drips, just drips onto plain wood, not something that's been carpeted or floored or whatever. If you did that first, you'd have to cover it well and make sure nothing drips on it. If you haven't, then it doesn't matter. You can leave it or wipe it up or do what you want. So I've also drilled the hole for the lighting, so any sawdust that drops, I can vacuum that up. So deal with the ceiling first, excuse me, and then after that, deal with the walls. So, well, put the chimney breast in if you're putting a wooden chimney breast in, and put it in where you're going to put it, glue it in place, make sure that's all fixed. Then paint the walls the colour that you want. Again, if the paint runs or drips onto an empty floor, it doesn't matter. Or wallpaper the walls. And if you do wallpaper the walls, wallpaper over the chimney, the hole in the chimney breast, let it dry, and then we'll cut that out. Then the fire surround goes on top of everything and covers it up completely, making it very, very neat. Then after that's in and your hearth is in and that's all laid down, then we lay the floor, then I would lay the floor in. That's the last thing in the room basically to be done at that point, is lay the floor in, because nothing else is going to mess it up afterwards. Once the flooring is in, then put the skirting boards in, or the baseboards, and then the baseboards and the coving or the cornice in. Doesn't matter which order you put them in, but once the ceiling's done, paper's done, flooring's done, then you've just got coving and cornice to do, and you do that in whatever order you want. And that is basically the I can't think of other things that you would do. There would be cases where it would be done slightly differently in a different order. I can't think of any just now, but whatever I do, I don't write in stone myself. So but this is basically how I would do normal rooms without anything untoward going on. And just while this paper is drying, before I cut that out, I'll leave that. It's getting late in the day, so I'll probably leave that overnight and then cut it out in the morning and carry on the video. But in the meantime, I've papered the upstairs again, painting the ceilings first, priming the walls, then putting the wallpaper on, let that dry and cut it. So that's all done. So excuse me. Then it's ready to put the light in. I'll do that in the lounge when I've finished everything else. If you put the light in at any point and then carry on putting up coving, cornicing, whatever, you will at some point knock the light and damage it. So the light will be the last thing that gets put up in the room. Then the wire can go along into the groove that I've pre-cut and vacuumed up all the sawdust, and then now it's been papered. Then after the light's been fitted, I can then put the flooring down in this room. Now get those out the way. Brush. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is the hearth for the fireplace. We're going to insert that, paint it, insert it, fix it all to the floor before the carpet's laid. And then I'm going to put a trim around the edge of the hearth. I've just realised you can't see the thing that I'm talking about. Let me see if I can control this camera to come down, to move. Oh, here we are. And zoom in, maybe. Oh, I'm getting better at this, folks. Okay, so there we are. So hopefully that's okay. So what I've done, this is the bit that goes inside the chimney breast. You could cut it out of all one piece of wood. You just have to measure it and cut it. It doesn't matter because it's all going to be covered over in paint. I did it in 2 sections because it was just far easier to measure the width of the chimney breast, how deep I wanted it to come out, and then the insert, I just measured the depth of the chimney breast inside and the length of it and just cut that piece. So it's just 2 rectangles stuck together. I'm just holding it on with tape there, but I have glued them as well, and then after it's painted I can just peel that off. So I've although you can feel a grain on the wood, I think this is basswood, and there's a grain on it. It will get covered up with paint, but just because I go overboard, as you all know, I've sanded it so it's nice and smooth. I'm going to paint it, I'm going to sand it again and paint it again, so it will be it won't mark easy. If anything's put on it, it won't, the paint won't come off. I've just put it on a piece of paper. Well, it's the remains of wallpaper from the house, but I've just laid it on there so I don't mess up the board so quickly. I've put a little bit of black, just black acrylic. I think that's System 3 we have in the UK, but it's just a Dala Rowney paint. You can't really see that properly, but it does say it there. Anyway, it's just a black acrylic. Any black acrylic will do, I am absolutely sure. But I have bought a new tub. I've never bought it before, but I've bought a tub of Liquitex Professional Acrylic Mediums, and it's a gloss gel. So I can, hopefully you can see that. I have opened it and opened a little bit of the lid just to see what it looks like. And we'll just peel that back. I'm going to keep the lid on as much as possible, plus that, the cover and the lid, and then it helps probably to keep it over time. But it is just, actually it looks a bit like Mod Podge. There we are. You can see it around the top there. It just looks like a white Mod Podge. But it's not. So I've just put a bit of the black acrylic paint in there. I'm going to add, I'm doing this because I want a shiny effect when it's finished. You could just use the gloss, the paint. It does dry matte, and then you could spray it with a gloss varnish. There's all different. You could Mod Podge on top of the normal paint to give it a slight sheen. You can do all different things. I'm going to try and mix this gloss gel into the paint. I don't know how much. So this isn't a masterclass on mixing gel with paint. We're just going to try it and see where it goes. Who knows where it's going to go? Right, now I'll just give that a mix, and we shall get this bit of wood with its first layer of paint. There we are. It should be mixed up enough. It just looks like wet shiny black paint now. Right, let's just paint that. Somewhere I have painted a bit of wood with the just the black paint on its own, just so I can see visually if it has actually done anything. Hopefully it will. It's not, I can't remember how much that was, but I would say it's not cheap. It's not just like a couple of dollars. I think it was or pounds. But anyway, hopefully this will be used for many things to come. But we are doing it for the hearth of this house. The hearth of this house, first of all. And that's without a drink, folks, as it is morning still. Oh dear. Mind you, when it comes to gin and tonics or most drinks, what's the saying? It's never too early. It's 5 o'clock. It's always 5 o'clock somewhere in the world. Anyway, until such time I shall stick with my tea and coffee. Right, okay. I mean, obviously at the moment it's shiny because it's wet anyway. But what I'm going to do, I shall pause the camera, and instead of waiting, I'll blow dry a piece of wood. Once it's dry, I'm just going to get a fine sandpaper, and that's a 1200. I might get something a little bit coarse, so we'll see. I don't know how it's going to affect it, but I'm just going to get the sandpaper and sand the whole thing and then give it another coat, and then sand that and just see how it comes up. So you can see it from here. That's excellent. That's dried, and the join between the two, I don't know if you can see it in the light, that's disappeared, so it just looks like one solid piece now. Hurrah! I'm really, whoops, I can't catch it in the light now. Okay, so if I can hold the camera at the same time, I've put PVA glue on at the bottom. I did try it in place just to make sure it fit, because if I glued it and it didn't fit properly, then it just gets a bit oogie. So let's just slot that in carefully. It's always harder when you're doing these things with one hand and holding the camera with the other, but I just want you to see it going in. What I might do is just get something heavy or a piece of wood here and then put something heavy on it, so it just holds that down while it dries. Okay, so I'm just showing you it's a dark green, Christmas green carpet for the Christmas house. I've cut out where the hearth is going to go in the lounge, and then I've got a bit to add on each side of the chimney breast because the carpet isn't big enough to cover the entire room, but that's fine. So I'll just be a little join there. This paper or this carpet, you can get it in different colours, and it is notorious for wrinkling up and stretching and just being really horrible to lay. A lot of you will already know this. It comes with a sticky back, so when you peel that off, it is very sticky underneath. But it's to lay it down neatly and to get it into the room before you lay it down, absolute nightmare. So on this occasion, what I'm going to do is leave the backing on the paper, and instead I have laid wide industrial double-sided tape and just laid that all round. Doesn't matter about the little gaps here and there, but what I am going to do, just to make sure, is to peel all this off. Then I'm going to apply just thin layer of PVA glue in between the joins where you can see the wood, and then I'm going to bring the carpet down. It won't stick as quickly, even though this is very sticky. I will be able to sort of lay the carpet in the corner, get it squared against the wall in the back before I lower it down, and then I can work it up towards the fireplace. So that will be easier to do than just using the complete stickiness of the back of the carpet. So I'll get on with that, and let's see how that goes. Okay, so that's the fire in place now. The only thing that's not glued in is the fire itself. It is wired, it's got lights in it, but it's loose, just in case the client asked for this so that it can be taken out if she wants to, just to change the bulb or do whatever, or even change the fire over time. So what you would normally do, if it's on the back wall, then I would just drill a hole straight out the back of the fireplace, and the wire would go straight through and it would be fixed to the copper wiring at the back, and then you can undo that and pull the fire out for whatever whatever you want to do. Because it's in the side wall, you can either drill a hole through the side wall. If you do that, then you have to do I would do a routing line from the hole to the back wall, lay the cable in there, and then put the back wall covering on, whatever you're going to use. That would make it permanent. You wouldn't be able to remove it. But in other houses, if you're putting the wall on the fired on the side like this, and it's not to be removed, then that's one way of wiring it to get it to the back of the house. But because the client wanted to be able to take this in and out, I have decided to wire it under the floor. So if I lift the flooring up, you can see that I have drilled a hole in the floor of the house there, and the wiring goes straight out through to the back there. I can just tape that with a bit of masking tape while it's in use, and if it's ever needed to have to be able to be moved, then that can be undone, and it can be indeed taken out. So folks, I'm going to end this part here. I was going to carry on, but I can't, because these baseboards, or the skirting board, the client wants them brown mahogany colour stain, and I had a small amount in a can, and it did work on a spare piece of wood, but it was old and I just wasn't happy with it, so I have ordered another tin of stain, a new tin. So we're going to start this room off with a brand new tin. It'll take a couple of days to arrive, so I will leave this this part now, and we'll do that in part 2, along with more of the house, obviously. But before I go, I just really quickly wanted to say thank you so much, everybody, for congratulating JB and me on our upcoming wedding. I was really quite shocked of just how many people wanted to congratulate us, so that was absolutely wonderful, and a few of you brought tears to my eyes. So it was a very long morning. I spent the entire morning up until lunchtime replying to comments. It took about 3 hours to do all of them, and then as the days went on, other comments come in, so of course I'm answering those as well. So thank you, all of you that commented and sent your well wishes to us. And also, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to one of our fellow YouTubers, Penny. Hello there, Penny. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, I watch your videos. Obviously, I'm a subscriber and you are of mine. And when I watched your last video, you started it off by doing an announcement of me and JB's wedding, or JB and me's wedding, and to congratulate us on your channel. And I was flabbergasted to hear that. I just sat there looking, thinking I was dreaming, because it was just so unreal to hear this, our wedding announcement, on somebody else's YouTube channel. It was in the morning when I watched it, and Penny, you made my entire day. It could have rained and thundered, and I could have been stood in it the whole time, and it wouldn't have bothered me. I'd have still been laughing and smiling and feeling happy. You so brightened up my day that was already bright to start with. It was just, I was like a Cheshire cat walking around all day. But Penny, thank you so much. And to do our announcement on your YouTube channel, I then looked at your comments. I commented, obviously, but I looked at the comments you get, and I ended up then answering or replying to the people that have commented on your channel as well. So that took even longer. I don't think I've spent so much time replying to comments, but as you all know, I don't really like just to give a heart or a thumbs up or whatever. You're more important than that. So as long as it takes, maybe in years to come, when I've got 10,000 subscribers and all of them comment, then maybe I won't physically have time for that, but it will be annoying me, I can tell you. So anyway, thank you so that was just I told JB instantly, and then made him come in, and we rewatched it again, and that was just a wedding gift. That was just a gift, absolute gift, and I will cherish it forever. And on YouTube, immortalised forever. Yay! Anyway, I'll stop going on about me. It's only because I'm 65 on my birthday and 65 on the day I'm getting married, and it's the first time. I've got to make something of it. I'm sure Elizabeth Taylor made a lot more of this. Take care, everybody. Lovely to speak to you. Lovely to show you what I'm doing. Hope you've picked up some tips somewhere along the line, and speak to you again ASAP. Take care, everybody. Bye.